What's up, everybody? My name is Brascus, and welcome back to Pathologic Classic HD. So, thanks to a wonderful subscriber who gave me some comments and some quick, give me a link to a quick guide, I'm going to start a new game, and here's why. The game itself, to begin with, is notoriously difficult, which is actually very exciting to me, because I like the idea that it doesn't want to give you any help. I don't know why, it just appeals to me in this particular instance. But two, the character we picked, the Haruspex, is kind of the hard mode version of the character. And it's really interesting to me, and I kind of want to start another game so we can hopefully see the direct difference. But when you play as the Haruspex, they have a lot more insider information. They explain mechanics and pieces of the game less because it's assumed that the character already knows these details. But in the same way, the characters that exist in the game are also more willing to give you more detailed information, and so it makes it an interesting correlation. You know, since I know you're one of us, I'll share more information than I normally would. But the newcomer, they're willing to explain things more since he is an outsider. So we're gonna start again, and I want to hear this too.
It's all about trickery to you? Wherever have you come from?
No. I detest trickery.
And presumably,
We ourselves are to suffer deception.
these are
Our
the other
hands
characters
are no
too.
longer tied.
So she's the
Where
changeling.
are we?
Well, the muscular contraction is there. Means we're already inside of him. This must be one of the ventricles, right here.
What a silly place.
And that's the Haruspex.
Stuffed. So it's not real for now? I don't think it has started yet.
Does it matter what it's made of? It's definitely struggling. We need to perform sectio transversalis. Cut the wall. There's no other way out. What else is there to do?
Oh, he's probably the
I
Haruspex.
know what to do. Those who favor hard logic and direct action are bound to be misguided. Only a miracle can set us free without us having to destroy something. And I can do miracles. Just let me.
Will you please be quiet? You're a liar and a thief. Who is going to believe you when you keep lying to yourself? The truth is my shepherd. Whatever happens, I will find answers, and justice will be restored. I will perform the operation. Medica morbo adhibe.
Don't you go all bossy on me, clever cloaks. You will act justly, but your justice will blind you and become his demise. This calls for the gentle hand of a surgeon. Step aside, both of you.
Your gentle hands are used to killing, not giving life. You will inevitably do harm. As for Brainy, he has no regard for casualties at all. Neither of you knows compassion.
Yes, it seems unlikely that we'll get along well, but there's only one truth.
Any choice is right as long as it's willed. That's the truth of the matter.
Only the heart will show you the right choice. Stop thinking about yourselves. Think of the sick. He's in pain. I can't see it yet, but I can feel it.
It's not even a trap. It's a grave. Subipsum funis sumus. Can't say I hold a soft spot for it.
I can see that. You're full of hate. Stuffed or not, it's breathing. I can hear it. It can be healed rather than killed.
You mean you won't become a killer?
We missed all this last
But
time.
you will. Mark my word, that's exactly what will happen. But I can avoid it.
No, we won't ever get along. I suggest we be on our way. The sooner the better.
Off we go then?
Let's go. The clock is ticking.
And that is where that wraps up. Okay, oh wow. Nice. I like the whole stage exit thing. And they even lit the door that you're supposed to go through. Okay. So instead of playing, we can't play the Changeling yet, and instead of playing the Haruspex, we're going to try the Bachelor and see what this change is.
Dankovsky, a Bachelor of Medicine, was brought here by circumstances most unfortunate. Dankovsky's lifework, his theory challenging the existing notions of human mortality, is being harshly persecuted by the powers that be. Suddenly, a letter arrives from a colleague suggesting that there is previous undiscovered evidence which may support Dankovsky's claims. There is a settlement, the letter says, ruled by an extraordinary man who may well be seen as objective proof of Dankovsky's daring hypothesis. Grasping at straws of hope, Dankovsky decides to follow what he believes to be the sign of divine providence. Without further ado, he sets off for the settlement. Late at night, Bachelor arrives in the town. As he seeks room and board, he gets to know a girl called Eva Yan and stays at her place till dawn.
Ooh. It's a very different opening, that's for sure. Somehow this is even more unsettling than the opening for the Haruspex. Okay. Oh wait, I know that guy. He was the guy that we talked to with the Haruspex. The Russian-sounding dude, Olimgarsky or something like that. Oligarsky? I can't remember his name. Well then. You can do it. A little more. And there we go. Come on. One more. Oh, hey, postman. Okay. So the other thing that we've learned as well is there's a lot of reading, so bear with me. As of today, my mission remains obscure. The examination of Simon Kane, who is rumored to be a man of incredible longevity, may shake the very foundation of modern thanatology and challenge the existent notions of death itself. However, even if this undying Leviathan proves to be more than a fairy tale, the mere confirmation of his existence won't suffice to prevent the powers that be from shutting our laboratory down. I need to figure out the most fruitful approach. Simon is a well-respected man, and if he mistakes my interest for effrontery, it would be nigh impossible to convince him to help me break new ground in the field of human vitality. Okay, so we don't have today's quest or other tasks, but we've got a mission, so we've got something to do. Day 1, by the end of which the Bachelor finds himself battling a truly unvanquishable foe. That's really ominous, but okay. So, what have we got in the area here that I can examine? Apparently nothing, but E also seems to open up my inventory. I have a weapon? Whoa, 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 whoa. I don't know what that does. Oh, E is to equip. Okay, so I've got my inventory, and if I actually... Okay, that makes some sense then. Wait, is this a... Oh, look at that. A way down. Big spirally staircase. She's probably the girl I spent the night with, or at least spent the night in her house. Let's go talk to her then. She might have some idea of what I need to be doing. Different beds, apparently.
I had a feeling you would come.
Did the sounds from the outside wake you up too? There was a terrible groan, and then something snapped loudly. I fell asleep so quickly I didn't even notice. It's like I fainted. So, what sounds are you talking about? I think there are strangers in the backyard, by the pond. They're unlikely to be planning mischief, but I have a bad feeling about this. I'm afraid to go out to them. I hope they go away soon and stop disturbing our sleep. Why do you think they aren't planning anything foul? Our population is so thin, crime is basically non-existent, especially here in the Stone Yard. Sometimes there are pranks, of course. Fights happen occasionally. People are young here, so they often go out at night. But we're a tight community, and now I hear unfamiliar speech. That's not a good sound. I'll go out and take a look, but I'm in a hurry. I must see this founding father of yours. Are you willing to trade the company of a fascinated woman for that of a dreadful old man, even if he is a sorcerer? That's so sad. But Simon won't go anywhere. He is. He has always been. He always will be, even if the moon were to fall to the ground. Please stay with me a little longer. Couldn't even imagine the hospitality here, but who was waiting for me? I didn't notify old Barak of my arrival. I'm not even sure what made me take off for this place. You know what? I'm supposed to be here. I'm clinical, so did I hear you right? He's a sorcerer? Is that the secret of his longevity? Are you in that much of a hurry? Do come round. The Canes are asleep now. Take your knockabout coat off. Have a rest in my bed. Let me warm your hands. You are so anxious to see Simon, as though your life depended on it. My life, yes. Now that my laboratory is on the brink of destruction, my whole life's pursuit depends on that remarkable man. If he has really managed to live that long, then his tissues will help me defeat death. Death? So that's the enemy you've chosen for yourself. Isn't it hard? I don't think anyone has managed to defeat that evil yet. Oh, this is tricky. I'm gonna say my enemy is inevitability. I'm challenging the forces of nature. I don't understand. I barely understand it myself. Could death only seem inevitable to us, but in reality be nothing more than the whim of the will that had shaped this world? That is the question, so where is the key to my victory? It's not far. The Canes live at the Crucible, on Bridge Square, but could I please offer you a piece of advice? Yes, please. It's part of why I switched characters here. Simon has two younger brothers. The eldest of the two, Georgi, is called the Judge by the locals. Visit him first. He isn't asleep. He'll teach you how to speak with Simon. The youngest of the three is Victor. His daughter Maria also wanted to see you. It's probably important. Was it she who knew about my arrival beforehand? Yes. She told me about it privately. Talking to her is no simple task. Maria is that kind of person. She puts on airs, but that's just how the Canes are. It was Maria who told me that she would help you defeat death. That's the precise wording. What a coincidence. Thank you for the advice. Go, and I'll prepare everything for your return. Do come back after you speak with the Canes. They will probably do a lot of things that will puzzle you and put you on guard. I will have some advice that may be of help to you if you need it. Okay, I'll come back. I see no reason not to. Alright, so she's been expecting my arrival. Simon Kane, man of improper longevity, is waiting for me here. I hope he sympathizes with my request. I only need a living evidence of the impossible. This one is the mansion called Stillwater, belongs to single girl, Eva Yan. Okay, so she's the one who's right there, and I'm here in front of the door. There's a whole bunch of people I'm supposed to talk to, though, right? Factory buildings, the abattoir, that's a gruesome place. First block of the territory, termitary. Second block of the termitary. Man, there's a whole bunch of stuff here, isn't there? Town theater, the lump. Olgimsky, that was his name. Home to Big Vlad and Capella. Bad Grief's lair. Oof. Alright, well, we, I guess, have what we need to do, so we can close this. No, sorry, that's those two things. M is the map. There we go. Now, nope, not what I wanted to do. Continue. Is there a way for me to check? Oh, wow. Holy crap. Okay, so this is a message. Isidore Borak's message. My dear Bachelor Dankovskil, it was most disconcerting to learn that the powers that be have the intention of shutting down the laboratory that owes its fame largely to your own research in the field of thanatology. Is it true that your detractors have branded your studies scientifically stillborn? Rejoice, Bachelor, for there is an observable case that would quell the obscurants that reject the research of death, aging, and necrosis as a subject that lacks academic viability. In this case, you were to document it would go a long way towards restoring your reputation as a scholar. The subject in question is Simon Kane, who has ruled the town where I live for as long as I can remember. This man's longevity transcends the boundaries of what is plausible. It is phenomenal, no less, and I struggle to give an explanation of it with what scientific means I have at my disposal. Make no delay, there is sensational discovery to be made here, a breakthrough that will not only save your laboratory, but also revivify your studies and greatly increase your scientific renown. Your humble servant and faithful colleague, Isidore Burak. P.S. I spoke to Simon on your behalf, and he has kindly agreed to facilitate your effort. Daring ideas and far-fetched projects are traditionally very well respected on our neck of the woods. Cool. Okay, I'm going to hold this video for just a second, guys, so I will be right back. I'm going to take a look at some of the settings and controls real quick. Okay, guys, I took a quick look at all the stuff for this, and so I think I've got some idea of what I'm doing now. The odd thing to me is I don't seem to be able to... Oh, you know what? Upstairs, I assumed that... where was the upstairs door? Was that this one back here? Yes. So up here, I was taking a look at one of these things. I think it was this one. Yeah, and I assumed that that was an equip screen. It's not. That's me putting items inside of the nightstand. So if I want to equip them, in theory, I need to actually equip it. Okay, so I just did the right click, which I'm hoping equipped it. But I don't actually seem to have... Well, now I do. Okay. Tab is the one that should change them. And it's an alternate attack, but I still don't know... Okay, I have no idea how to equip things. I'm not going to worry about it just yet. Oh, these are the strange noises that they heard, isn't it? Some people over there. It's going to be the executor again and the mailman. Another thing to note, guys, too, as well, is frankly right here, this reputation thing. Reputation's at full, which is another reason why this character is a little easier to start with. Because my reputation isn't in the tank, people will not attack me on sight, which is a really nice thing. Halt! I'm going to have to teach you about the technicalities of the setting. The time and the place, it's not essential, but that's just how it is. The actor has to be prepared before he goes on stage, or else he'll fall down the aisle or stumble up the prompt box. That would look mighty silly, wouldn't you agree? Who are you? An actor in a tragic mime show. That's unimportant. Will you listen to me or not? I'm listening. Time flies by. It can't be stopped or turned back. Nights follow days, which are then followed by nights. Things happen without any regard for whether you are there to witness them. Don't expect anyone to wait for you. Most events can be missed. And so it would make sense for you to visit the places that you care about regularly. You'll find the people that will play major roles in your fate there. They stand out from the common folk. The rest are just a crowd shot, a background, a bunch of extras. As it has always been. Indeed. Still, it's best to avoid hasty judgments. It's a paradox, you see. Don't try to care too much for the lives of these bound-to-stand-out people. And don't be too dismissive of the silent crowd. Both extremes will end in tragedy. Why is that? This world cares for your reputation, a fine and crucial instrument. Your reputation changes the world you see, for it is a mirror. Wouldn't you agree? And so a bad reputation can get you into a lot of trouble. For example, oh, I don't need to describe. You've got a vivid imagination. Yeah, vivid imagination. Everything changes, from mystical aspects to mundane things like the people you need treating you badly. How many enemies you've got, how high the prices rise, how bad your dreams are, lots of things. Sorry prospect, so how do I maintain my reputation? Really? How is that even a question? Same as anywhere. Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not lie, thou shalt not betray. Do not steal, do not covet, do not be an asshole. Do not get caught. The rules are the same everywhere. A truly selfless deed, like risking something for thy neighbor or even a person who lives quite far away, can help in a dire situation. I see. Really? Good for you, then. As for me, I can't see anything in this mask. I have no idea what's going on. Anyway, don't get too worked up about human lives, and don't put too much stock into another's words, mine included. He who trusts everyone is asking to be deceived. Yet he who trusts no one is deluded. I know that from experience. Okay. I've already got a place on the map to find Simon Kane, so I won't worry about that. Venerable Bachelor, please be so kind as to linger for a minute. This conversation won't take too much of your time, especially since time stops during dialogues, at least during the important ones. That is actually really good to know. And our dialogue is extremely important. You need to know how to play, after all, don't you? Now see, this is exactly what I was talking about. It makes a lot more sense to me than starting with the Haruspex. This is much more helpful. Play? Oh, and he's not he's the tragedian now. What are you talking about, Mask Man? I'm neither a gambler nor an actor. Of course you aren't. You are a living, breathing man, as is evident from your conditions and statuses. You experience hunger, thirst, and fatigue. You suffer from pain, wounds, and diseases. You're so lifelike. You have to eat, drink, sleep, and rest, and to make mistakes. The latter being the most definitive proof of my human nature, wouldn't you agree? If I may, I would like to point out just how important it is to keep an eye on your condition. If you get dizzy or unnaturally sluggish, do have it checked up. Vital processes tend to run faster during emergencies than in everyday life. I knew a person who died of stress but was diagnosed with starvation. It happens. I can testify that as a doctor. Need I remind a wise man like you of the fact that hunger is sated with food, food can be found in shops, and shops can be found in ordinary houses that are marked with specific signs. Sleep, however, is more complicated. People only sleep in beds, and only in private residences around here. I am sorry, but that's just how our world is. Yes, the world is unjust. And quite silly, if you forgive me for saying so. Speaking of commerce, different shops sell similar items at different prices. Make sure you don't get cheated. People can be quite brazen around here. You can also barter with the folk out on the street. Some things may be nothing more than trinkets to you, but others would be willing to part with their life's blood for them. Blood? Yes, blood. It's not my place to lecture you, but if, following your Hippocratic oath, you ever consider easing someone's pain, feel free to just approach them with the suitable drug. You will see their pain receding before your very eyes. The sick fall asleep when they're close to recovery, don't they? Or when they're close to their ultimate rest. Still, helping the hopeless will grant you a good reputation. You'll be seen as a benefactor willing to part with a precious sleeping draught or a painkiller for a simple bystander. Anything else? No, not yet. Show me the way to Simon's house. Turn left now, then walk along the alley. You will see a cathedral and 3 mansions across Bridge Square. Simon lives in the one that is closest to the river. Thank you very much. Okay, so, wow, we got a lot of information there. Like he said, turn left till you see the cathedral and 3 mansions. Now, I do believe we were supposed to speak with a few different people. Mention of Victor Kane. Victor was the youngest. Mention of Georgi Kane, Simon Kane's brother, and this is the one for Maria, Victor Kane's daughter, has been expecting you. So we're going to talk to Georgi first, because he's the one that I was told to go and see. Okay, and that was the sneak is left shift, which is also good to know. I like this whole people don't just randomly attack me in the middle of the street thing. That's nice, too. That is a weird-looking cathedral. Not nearly as long as I would have expected. Very bizarre. And really tall. What is that? Sorry, that's really distracting. I mean, weird architecture or not, what is that? I know that's where I'm supposed to go, but what is that? I gotta look at this. What the hell is this thing? Save first. I'm gonna make a new save here. There we go. We'll keep the old one. I don't know how quickly I'll come back to it, but I'm not ready to get rid of it just yet. There's a way up to the top of that thing? Okay, I don't have time for that yet. I want to make sure... One of the other tips that I was given, there was a link provided by one of the subscribers. You can see his very helpful comment in the first video that I've done on this, and I strongly encourage anyone curious in playing this to check out that link. But I encouraged you to get your daily missions done quickly. It also told you to talk to lots of people. I believe it said little girls are ammo repositories or something along the lines of that. And fitting in the theme of this game is hard, the last tip for beginners was don't lose hope. So who knows what kind of craziness we're going to be dealing with here. Are you Yorgi?
I have a heartache.
Most venerable doctor, it is with great impatience that we have been expecting you. You need not delve into the minutiae of your business with us, since our family is well acquainted with your scholarly work. We are also quite aware of the difficulties you are experiencing and well prepared to do our utmost to support you. It hurts me all the more to be the one to inform you that Simon, my consanguineous brother, the creator, keeper, and embodiment of all that surrounds us, has been murdered. Damn it! Why did it have to happen just before I arrived, right as I found the chance to prevail? Precisely. Why did it have to happen just before your arrival? Are you asking yourself this same question? I hope you don't see any connection between my arrival and the murder. In fact, I do see a connection. However, do not mistake it for a thought that it was you who murdered him. At least that's something. Isidore has done more than he thinks. I have a lingering feeling that time itself is being uncontestable powers... Sorry, I feel that time itself is using uncontestable powers to further its own intentions. What do you think? Categories like time, nature, and fate deprive man of responsibility for what goes on around him. I was taught to avoid this worldview. It could be that my mind is clouded by sorrow, but I cannot escape the feeling that your arrival was no coincidence. Your choice was made for you, my dear doctor. Let us not blame fate for it. Isidore wrote to you without making us aware. He took a risk that could have displeased our family. Why do you speak the word fate with such disgust? I prefer the word time, in a fatalistic sense of the notion, of course. So Simon wasn't aware I would come. Even though we were uncertain of when you would arrive, my brother was looking forward to meeting you. The tragedy may have been a consequence of the actions he took in preparation for your arrival. Someone has taken a powerful piece from the chessboard, a piece upon which your position has depended. It is doubly regrettable, doubly regrettable that Simon was playing on your side. So you presume the queen knew of the blow and sacrificed itself for a pawn? But why? To grant you victory over death? Was it not your ultimate aspiration? To help you, Simon seems to have played a very dangerous game with fate itself. He went out of his way to provide you with a body of evidence. What did he do? It is of no importance to me what exactly he did. He took another leap for the stars and paid a terrible price for it. I repeat, he was murdered. The subject of importance here is the identity of the murderer. Everything has gone to rack and ruin. Wish I could take vengeance upon the person who ripped the life from this man. Do you want to help us, Doctor? Find the murderer for us. My brother Victor, who is in the wing next door, would share some of his thoughts on the matter. Help us, and the reward will not disappoint you. Indeed. It seems there are too many coincidences. Your brother's murder can just as well be called the murder of Bachelor Dankovsky. I will help you in every way I can. I am convinced that if there is anyone at all that can help us solve this puzzle, then it is you. This mission calls for someone as astute and inventive as yourself. If Isidore was an instrument of fate, then Simon's murder is a message that fate intended for you personally. Do not think I am inclined to blame you for that. I am not. How do you plan to look for the murderer? We will take our own measures. The only thing I expect from you is to be yourself. Do only what you think is required. Whatever you find out, whatever you do, whatever your day turns into, everything is a clue to the solution of this puzzle. I repeat, everything that is happening here is happening on your account. You have my sympathy. Okay, so Victor we need to talk about, and we should see Maria as well. So we got a bunch of people to talk to now. Simon's dead. His brother Yorgi is preparing to take the empty throne of the clan's leader. The Canes are obsessed with the idea of finding the murderer. They don't seem to be driven by rancor, but rather by the desire to uncover a mystery. Okay. Can I... I'm kind of curious to see if there's an upstairs to this place. These house layouts are so bizarre. The way they just wrap around in circles. Okay. I was curious to know if I could maybe look at his body or something like that, so... okay, we're going to go visit Victor next. Since his house is the one marked with a handprint. Not that his isn't, but I'm still curious, so we'll talk to him, and then I'll probably have to cut the episode. But I'm already... This is I'm very glad I switched characters, because despite how awesome the game was with the other one as well, having some more of an idea of what's happening is causing my curiosity to be increased. I definitely want to play both characters now, but I like the idea of getting a little more of an idea of... Hello. Very pretty. I like the idea of knowing more of how the game functions before taking on the other storyline.
I fear that Simon's death is a symbolic event.
The famous Dr. Dankovsky, your arrival is a great honor to us. Victor Kane at your service. Daniel Donkovsky at yours. I foresee that the things that have become ordinary for us will probably make you feel uncomfortable and disturbed. I would like to compensate for that impression. You know, our small community has fallen out of the loop. Time leaves us behind. What do you mean? I mean, the traditions, games that we play with passion will most likely be of no interest to you. The people you meet here may seem eccentric, naive, or even somewhat deranged. Please take it easy on us. Don't judge us too strictly. I will do my best not to disappoint you.
Yes?
How can I help you? Yorgi has told me everything, which is to say he told me very little, but it was enough to astound me. He maintains that you can provide a more detailed account. So you have agreed to help us? I have. May I ask why? The killer's goals seem to align astonishingly well with the goals of those who've been waging war against my work for years. I'm prepared to answer any questions you may have. When was Simon last seen? He sent Isidore home, then an hour later he came to this hall to see us. He announced his plans to withdraw to the Focus and received no one. He told us not to approach the Focus and to fast for a week, partaking of neither meat nor water. Then in the morning he was found dead. Why no meat or water? Well, how could he have been poisoned, or how was he found? How was he found? The servants discovered him in the morning. The room had been ransacked, everything that was breakable had been broken. His disfigured, contorted body bore signs of terrible suffering. His neck was twisted, his spine broken, I think. No one has touched the body. It is currently inside the Focus and will remain there for the prescribed amount of time. What is the Focus? It's hard to explain. It's his study, if you will, an extraordinary spacious, creative laboratory, almost perfectly sealed off except for the door that was visible at all times, metaphorically speaking. Yeah, I don't understand. It's like an equation, or a mirror puzzle. Anyway, the murderer could not have been hiding there, take my word for it. Well, Simon did get in there somehow. He could perform far more impressive feats. There's a reason why the whole town revered him. Tell me honestly, dear Victor, did Simon exist at all? Bravo, Doctor! There is indeed a spark of genius to you. Alas, yes, he did. Alas. It's not that I would benefit from his death. Alas, for that would be too simple an explanation. Simon well and truly did exist. That is exactly what's left everyone in disarray. It was so hard for them to accept his existence that the thought of his demise is now driving them mad. You're all his heirs, wouldn't... No, see, fair enough. What do you want from me, then? You know what? You're all his heirs. Wouldn't you all benefit from his death? Didn't the old man rather overstay his welcome in the world? His death is a challenge to our continued existence. We are neither insane nor suicidal. Who do you suspect? Just take a look around. Trust your intuition. Do whatever you like. Speak to whoever you feel the need to. Look for the murderer, Doctor, and you will find them. Keep looking to the last breath. I am sure your rational thinking will help you. Okay, so Isidore's the only lead. How can I find him? I'll show you, but you must be careful. Simon's murderer, whoever they are, could not be an ordinary person. I can't imagine them even being a person. I fear it could only be fate wearing the guise of a mysterious monster. I'll be careful. Alright, so Isidore Barak lives there. He's the last person that saw Simon Kane alive, and he lives way over here by the second block of the termitary thing. Okay, I know I said I was going to cut it, but I'm going to talk to one last person. We're going to go talk to Maria, and we'll just talk to all three of the people that are in this area. Then we will go and speak to Isidore. Wait, no, sorry. That door just wraps around to the other side of this house. She was in the middle manse. Okay. Wait, where's the door? I'm not crazy, right? They told me to go in the middle one. Oh, I just went around the wrong side, I guess? Looking for Maria. Hello? You must be Maria. You know, I gotta say, that's a really, awkward place to be putting the flowers on the dress.
In me that can be lived.
You're a little creepy. The, shattered mirrors and whatnot. Swords above the bed, I guess. Paper, or actually wooden sword, looks like. Anything I can read? No. Nothing I can really access. Okay. Let's go take a look then. Interesting pieces of artwork. Okay, who are you?
It came from below the ground. For many years, we were burying the bones wrong.
You resemble an adventurer rather than a doctor. How is it you know me? I saw you in a dream. Don't flatter yourself. My desires have nothing to do with that. I simply saw you take us all by the throat. Cruel words. But also honest. What's so bad about it anyway? The strong manipulate the weak when they want to. Then it is all in my hands.
I often feel like someone's looking at us from the other side.
Okay, I can do voices for some people. I don't think I can do one for her. Now listen closely. The time for collusions, secrets, and alliances has come. I'm going to ask something of you. I'm not used to that. I'm used to holding the reins. But you are not harnessed, so it would be unacceptable to address you in this manner. I find solace in the fact that my request will be welcome to you. It fits the style of your venture. I'm not an adventurer, and my job is no venture. I hope it never becomes one. I apologize if my words come across as mangled and silly. I'm not truly used to asking, but the nature of my request demands complete and selfless humility. I just imagine me begging and kneeling, and believe me, I do feel that way. No need to kneel. What did you want to talk about? Today's death was the first, but it won't be the last. Simon has opened the score of irreplaceable victims. Soon their number will multiply. I beg you to preserve the lives of several people when the lines of their fortune cross you. Before any of them dies, there will be a moment when you will be able to intervene. I know that for a fact. Who are these people? That doesn't matter. What was destined... You want me to save them, but it doesn't matter who they are? What was destined to happen will happen. You can be whatever you want to be, but not a coward, choosing to hear no evil and run away from reality. I will give you a list of those I know of. These people are bound to you. Okay, here we go. Bound. There's a tight spring of power within each of these people. Each of them can break the routine of human existence and become something greater. They are standing on the verge of their humanity, gazing into the realm where they could serve a different, higher purpose, without even knowing it. Moreover, they are bound to make the leap in one way or another. That's why we call them simply the Bound. When and how are these people supposed to die? Bound to die. No need to shy away from it. That is also implied. You didn't answer my question, Maria. How and when will they die? I don't know. I'm not a mistress yet. The future is not as clear to me as I would prefer, but I can feel the present. I can already distinguish a dubious guess from the pulse of the precise knowledge, devoid of words and images. These people are bound to you. Your lives are connected. I wouldn't have asked you to take care of them otherwise. Are you clairvoyant or something? Ah, yes, you haven't been told, have you? It didn't even cross my mind that someone may be unaware of my abilities. No one here dares doubt them, for they are evident. Yes, the mistress of every ruling house possesses special abilities. I'm learning to see the future and transform the present. This fact offers your words a different degree of authenticity. Will you comply with my request? Will you save the lives of the people I named to you? Answer me before going back to Eva. If it is truly within my power, I'll do my best to save lives. I'm a doctor. Whatever happens, these people must live. Their fates are bound to mine. They may well hold the keys to my victory in their hands. Georgi Kane, Victor Kane, Andrei Stamatin, Peter Stamatin, Maria Kana. I wonder why she's Kana and they're Kane. I suppose it could be a feminine masculine thing. Eva Yan and Mark Immortel. You're really creepy looking. You and this Peter Stamatin dude, and Andrei Stamatin. Most of the other guys look relatively okay-ish. Okay, so, wow. We got a lot of information on this one. We've got a list of people we're supposed to save, which we can view in one of these messages, maybe? No? Today's quest, other tasks, mission. Man, they don't necessarily give me a whole lot to go on. 722 on day 1. Adherence. Ah, here we go. Okay, so these are the people I'm supposed to keep alive. Now we know where to find it, which is good. Okay, well, I'm all out of time for this episode, guys, and we're kind of, again, in sort of a situation where we have questions instead of answers, but now I've got a more fundamental understanding of what I'm supposed to do. I feel like I've got more of a direction and a better idea of how to approach the next episode, so I'm, again, really interested. I can already see a huge difference in the two characters that we've tried, which just makes me want to keep going and find out what other differences there are. And now that I understand, I'm learning about the world we're in, it's really interesting, too, to see how the executor at the beginning and the tragedian, or whatever his name was, how they basically break the fourth wall, and they know it's a game, and they refer to it as a game, but the character himself is still sort of like, what are you talking about? I'm a dude. I'm not an actor or a gambler. So this is fascinating. I've had this in my Steam library for ages, and I've never picked it up and bothered to try it until just, the last time I did this episode. So I'm kind of kicking myself for not having tried it sooner. Our health is good. Immunity seems to be fine. Our hunger and our exhaustion look pretty low. I probably need to do something about that. I'm not really sure how much money I have either. Oh, I got plenty of money. Okay, so we'll make that a goal for our next episode, is to find something to eat and probably to sleep. Might have to try and go back to her house. Yan. Forgetting her name already. I can pull up the list later. So, I've rambled on long enough. I hope you'll stick with me through it. If you've enjoyed this, please let me know by hitting the like button and leaving a comment in the section below. Please also comment if you've got other ideas for games you'd like to see played on the channel. And as always, guys, I will see everyone in the next video. Catch you guys later.